Won't ever see, I'm a feast for the eyes. The reason why I'm in luxury design. So chic, so ahead of time. Cunt queen, princess of the prize. Witness the baddest bitch alive. Reporting from the belly of the night.
Hey Queen, so today I wanted to throw back to my channel. If you've been watching me since, I think 2012-ish, I basically started off doing fragrance reviews. I think I had another channel before this one, where I did like my first fragrance review ever. And I think it was on Chloe and Lamar's Unbreakable Bond at the time, and I'm not sure what the first review on this channel was. But basically, I started off doing fragrance reviews a long time ago. Then we went to vlogging, in-bled vlogging, I think mukbang, story times, celebrity stuff, meet and greets, and then makeup for a hot minute, and then I let you in on a little journey and stuff like that. So, you know, we've kind of done it all. I'm doing gaming now. If you haven't seen the live streams, I've live streamed Outlast, a little bit of Black Ops and Fortnite. I'm debating whether I want to live stream Overwatch on this channel or just keep it on my Twitch or do a little bit of both, you know, introduce you here and then go back on my Twitch and stuff like that. But I will try to link that in the description down below and everything. And more or less, yeah, I'm starting to live stream gaming. So if you like Black Ops 3, Call of Duty World War II, Fortnite, Overwatch again, I think that's all I play. I tried to play GTA 5, but it's not really my thing. I really couldn't get used to the controls. I tried playing with a couple of people, but I just kept dying. But who knows, I may get better at it, like with Fortnite. I just remember I just kept dying, and then somehow I made it. But aside from that, I also want to tell you that I do have a coupon code for some sunglasses. So if you did click on this video because you saw the thumbnail, thank you very much, because I'm wearing some of my sunglasses in that video. I mean, in that photo for the thumbnail. So if you want to know what they are, they're from unicorneyewear.com. They're these bad babies right here. And I don't know, they're pretty inexpensive. I like them. My code does save you 20% off, so it's code Pedro at unicorneyewear.com. Again, I'll link that down below in the description. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Twitch. I'll have that linked somewhere. And if you want to help me out, I mean, I don't get paid for any of this, honestly, but I'm just saying so they know that y'all are buying my stuff, so to speak, and using my code. And if you want to shout me out to any other companies who want to partner up with me, just use my code at unicorneyewear.com. And anyways, let's get into it. So again, throwback to a fragrance review, how I started. I'm going to be reviewing Kim Kardashian's True Reflection. This is one of the fragrances that I've loved. I have reviewed, I believe, Kim Kardashian's signature fragrance. That one was a while back. I don't know if I reviewed Gold. I do have Pure Honey 2 and Glam. I don't think I reviewed any of them except her signature one. I still have reviewed the 3 Chloe and Lamar ones, and I haven't reviewed her new Crystal Gardenia ones or the Valentine's Day ones. I don't know. I really feel like I'm not the person who's going to buy something online when it comes to a fragrance, so to speak. But you never know. If you guys want to see a review on those ones, please let me know down below. But anyways, True Reflection by Kim Kardashian. I believe this one came out in 2012. So, hey, when I started my channel. And I remember seeing this at Sears and everything like this. And it's a pretty nice fragrance. Now, I'd probably say for those of you who are like sticklers to like the rules of, like they say, makeup and fragrance and clothing, and like you wear things in certain seasons or certain hours of the day, etc., like to conform to the weather, so to speak. I mean, I kind of wear anything whenever, but of course, you know, everybody has their preferences, and some people like to stick to the rules, some people don't, so it's all up to you, of course, with anything. I mean, it's your coin that you're spending money on, so you wear it when you want to wear it. And reading off of here, it says, True Reflection is a truly feminine, very well-balanced composition, which is built of fruity, watery, and floral notes. The composition starts with fresh, mouthwatering notes of Italian bergamot, luscious plum, and peach. The heart is composed of floral notes, night-blooming gardenia, chocolate orchid, and lotus flower. Textured woods, patchouli, and skin musk are included in the base notes. And I would kind of disagree with the watery notes. I mean, floral and like textured woods I do get, but when they say watery and fruity, I'm not really feeling like that's what you smell. Now, this would probably be a scent based on its description, something that you wear at night, something very sultry, something with like a smoky eye and like a dark red lip or something, or a nude lip and like a very heavy smoky eye, or slightly with what I have and you're dressed in black. You know, like I feel like this is one of those classic fragrances that is gonna, it really is different compared to all her other fragrances, aside from the KKW ones, because those ones are her own. So basically, these fragrances, I believe she was like licensed and stuff, however, you know, celebrities do their things. And then with KKW, she is like the CEO of her own like business, so to speak. So her own fragrance, her own makeup, and her own, I believe she's going to come out with skincare maybe or something. So her KKW fragrances are something different. I do know they have gardenia in them. So if you have followed Kim from the beginning when she was making her signature fragrance, Kim Kardashian by Kim Kardashian, the voluptuous new fragrance, the black and pink one, that one did have gardenia. So I'm not surprised that gardenia was in her new KKW fragrances. I'm kind of surprised that it's in this one because I never really picked up on it, so to speak, in the sense of like first whiff and like not really reading the notes. But then like, you know, when you read something like, oh yeah, I kind of smell that now. So I'm gonna like try to see if I smell this now. But again, I feel like this is something like very warm and creamy and fall nighttime, like smoky eye. You're very glam. You're done up to the nines. You have like a little black dress or a red dress, and it's just you're showing some skin and you're being very like just you're feeling yourself, you know. And compared to Kim Kardashian's signature, that one is very floral, slightly creamy. You know, it's gardenia and tuberose basically in a jar. So it's kind of like for cause. I know that's what they explained it like, and if you don't know what I'm looking at, I have like all my fragrances here on my dresser. So if you're new to my channel, I look at all my fragrances here. I have like so many. Compared to Kim Kardashian, Gold kind of comes off as a slightly fruity men's scent. I'd probably say True Reflection is the more warm, feminine version of Gold, like what Gold wanted to be or didn't really hit the mark on, but True Reflection is really that very well polished one. Glam is a very airy, clean, springtime scent, so to speak. Like that one really doesn't last long on the skin. And it's kind of like True Honey to an extent, where True Honey is very heavy and it does smell like honey, you know, like it's very honey-like scent, and it's going to be something that's very true to its name. Now, True Reflection, the sillage and everything like this, it's kind of, I will say it's heavy and like very out there when you first spray it. And it is going to be one of those that does last throughout the day. And it's going to be one of those also where with Katy Perry's Killer Queen, if you have the body lotion, if you're able to still find it at like a Ross or like during Christmas season when they like, you know, have like the gift sets on sale, which sometimes I snag up at 75% off or more, or 50, you know, just because, you know, it's a nice fragrance. I'm willing to spend that money on Kim. You can really make the fragrance sauce, and you can really have the fragrance evolve with you and really smell those like creamier bottom heart notes, so to speak. Because again, with the top notes being watery and like mouth watering and this and that, I really don't feel like you're getting that, but you're getting something that's more seductive and heavy and like again very nighttime creamy, and just it appeals to you. It appeals to a very sexy woman, like they say. And I think that it very much well fit with Kim Kardashian at the time. I mean, now she does, you know, if you look at her makeup style, just her style in general, after she's married Kanye West, like it's very toned down and nude and natural. And I think her fragrances are like airy or like citrusy, you know, that's what I get her vibe now. But back then, so to speak, with like her heavier smoky eyes and her nude lips, I do see this as like the very done up, beautiful Kim Kardashian fragrance. And again, it does fit in with Kim Kardashian's signature. And I think this is like a second wave before she came out with Fleur Fatale, and then now she transitioned to KKW. So again, the sillage when you first spray it, very strong, very just, it's a very delicious scent, you guys. It's like, let's say like a warm vanilla sugar scent, so to speak. Not, you know, verbatim, but just one of those, like, it's very heavy and unique and distinct, and like it's just something that just draws you in, that you want to smell like, what is that fragrance? And if someone walks by you wearing it, you're just like, that smells so good. And again, if you can't get the body lotion with it, it just lasts so much longer. And I wouldn't say the body lotion amplifies the scent as much as Rihanna's Rebelle Fleur, which Rihanna's Rebelle Fleur, the fragrance itself, it's very heavy and nice, but it does last forever until the end of the day. And then using the lotion by itself with no fragrance, it's so potent and, like they say, pigmented, so to speak, if you want to talk in makeup terms, that all you would need is the body lotion. Now, a True Reflection, it's kind of like Katy Perry's where it lasts, but it's very close to the skin. So again, it's very intimate. It's very like get close to me and like smell me, so to speak. Or like if someone's like kind of like next to you or like at least one or two people away, like they will smell you. But it's gonna be very like not faint, but like it's there, but it's not. It's kind of like if they walked into a room where you kind of sprayed yourself like maybe 30 minutes ago. So it's just a breath of fresh air, so to speak. And with its longevity, I will say it's kind of long lasting. I know some people get it moderate, so to speak, but I think that's because most people go like one or two, you know. I like to not only spray it sometimes on my neck, but more recently I've usually sprayed it on my clothes instead of getting it on my skin. And I don't know, I feel like obviously it's going to last longer on fabrics. It's not going to be where you put it on your skin and it reacts to like your acidic or your pH levels, whatever your chemistry of your body, where sometimes the scent may change, where you smell it on one person or in the bottle and then you put it on, it's like, oh, it smells weird on me, like it doesn't smell like what I'm used to smelling it. Because, you know, that's just the truth of it. Your diet and stuff will affect your fragrance and the outcome of your fragrance, how long it's going to last, the way it's going to evolve as it goes from your top notes to your base notes to your heart notes and everything like that. So with that being said, I do see a lot of people saying that they smell like the top citrusy parts a lot, but I disagree with that. I feel like you're just smelling a lot of the base notes and you're smelling a lot of those heart notes, because I really don't get watery fruitiness from this fragrance. And I'm gonna spray it real quick. Well, there is an airiness to it just smelling it from the nozzle. But let's see. I will say I do smell the chocolate orchid. I think the patchouli is what makes this fragrance last, and the skin musk is what really makes it a very intimate, get close to me kind of scent, and again, very just like passionate, and like you just wear it when you want to impress someone and stuff. Those fruity, watery notes like the Italian bergamot, the luscious plum, and peach, I will say there's a very slight hint of it. You're not really going to smell it. I think it's just adding on to the gardenia and the orchids and the patchouli, where the bergamot, the plum, and the peach. Now, peach and plum are usually kind of sweeter scents. Bergamot tends to be like very airy, crisp, and sharp. When you add it to patchouli, which is very heavy, almost agar-like at times, I think it's amplifying the patchouli and amplifying the chocolate orchid and the night blooming gardenia. Because gardenia is a very distinct scent. Like, gardenia is very intoxicating. Like, was her first fragrance. Like, that one's very, like, you can smell that one right away. And, like, it's a very distinct scent. Now, I think these add to the gardenia, the orchid, and the patchouli the most. The lotus flower, I think of Britney Spears is Curious. Do I get a little vibe of that? Not entirely. But I will say there is that chocolate orchid gardenia scent with that patchouli and skin musk. The bergamot, plum, peach, and lotus flower, I think they're there, but they're just helping to layer the fragrance and add on by giving a different twist to what you're going to smell, which in my opinion, again, gardenia, orchid, and patchouli, and skin musk. Now, again, patchouli, I feel like is one of those fragrances where it reminds me of CK1 Shock for men and Calvin Klein's Euphoria Intense for men. These two. And I think True Reflection by Kim Kardashian is, again, the sweeter, more feminine version of Intense Euphoria for men. I feel like this is a more sweeter version of the regular Euphoria, and I feel like for a men's scent, it's very sweet and like chocolatey and creamy. CK1 Shock is like a creamy tobacco-y scent. That's what I've always felt from that fragrance itself. And that's where I think I come into the chocolate orchid and the night blooming gardenia, the patchouli, and the skin musk. Do I get an Italian like, do I get like a very sharp citrusy uplifting twist to this fragrance like I will with Euphoria Intense and CK1 Shock? More like Euphoria Intense, where if you've ever smelled that one for guys, it's like sweet, but there is that very sharp woodiness to it. And I want to say almost like cedar wood or something, you know, like it's very distinct, but it's very pleasant to smell. Kind of like if you have a pine candle from like Yankee Candle or something. Like it's just sharp and it kind of like cuts the air and like lets you know you're here. Um, I will say a lighter version of Kim Kardashian's True Reflection would be Hidden Fantasy by Britney Spears. Now this one, I feel would be having, let's say, the chocolate orchid, gardenia, and lotus flower. Not really patchouli or skin musk, maybe a dash of Italian bergamot and peach, but I feel like Hidden Fantasy is the lighter, airier version of Kim Kardashian's True Reflection, and it also does remind me of Sofia Vergara's signature fragrance, Sofia by Sofia Vergara, where this one is a little bit more oriental and kind of medicinal smelling, kind of smells like Shakira's, I think, what is it? S or O Floral by Shakira, the pink one. It kind of smells like that one, but I will say if you do like True Reflection by Kim Kardashian, you may also like, I believe it's Heat Kissed and Heat Wild Orchid by Beyonce. These are very creamy, vanilla-y, warm, intoxicating scents, which Kim Kardashian True Reflection is that. And again, the lasting power on this one is just, it's very nice. Like you can go from morning to the afternoon and then refresh yourself if you're going out for the night, you know, like how you touch up your makeup if you're going to go out or something. Then you would just spray a little bit more. And to show you how much it sprays, let's just go into it. So at first, letting what wafted in the air smell, it you can get that Hidden Fantasy by Britney Spears scent at the top. You can get a slight hint of plum and peaches, which is why I'd say those top notes are like, they're the first notes you're going to smell and they're the first notes that are going to dissipate. And then you're mostly left with, you know, your middle heart notes or your base notes. It just depends which one is more, you know, in there, so to speak, or which one your nose picks up the best. Now, I do kind of see that flowery, watery smell to it, but this does evolve, I think, where when it dries down after, like, let's say an hour and a half at the most, which I feel like that's a reach for me by saying that, you do get that very, very bottom chocolate orchid and that gardenia, patchouli, skin musk, which again leads me back to telling you that it is a very intimate scent. It is a scent that's going to like very much garner the attention of anybody you walk by, and it's going to be very, I think this could be someone's signature scent. Now, I haven't seen this fragrance, I think, for a hot minute, you guys. I haven't seen it at like Ross or TJ Maxx or Marshalls or even Sears. I know the Kardashians had like a line at Sears for a hot minute. But I do see they do have a very strong similarity to Heat Kissed and Heat Wild Orchid by Beyonce. So if you do like these scents, you will like True Reflection by Kim Kardashian. If you're a guy and you've smelled CK1 Shock and Euphoria Intense for men, you will get that kind of vibe that I'm talking about. That like kind of creamy, heavy, intoxicating vibe. And I don't mean those as negative connotations. I mean those as a scent that's going to grab attention. And if you smelled Sofia Vergara's first fragrance, you are going to see what I mean when it has that twist to it. Like Sofia Vergara is like perfumey and floral, but that oriental twist that it has to it that almost smells medicinal is what grabs someone in, which I think the top notes do that for you, where you are getting that like watery, fruity, floral opening, but again, the more it dries down with the orchid and the gardenia and the patchouli and the skin musk, I feel like that's where you're getting that very, it's like thick and creamy base. You're getting something that's going to last. You're getting something that's going to not only evolve into something that's sexy and, like they say, voluptuous, it's Kim Kardashian, but just something that's really, it's going to hold. It's going to be one of those solid fragrances that I think you can really designate as an everyday fragrance if you're light, if you have like a very light hand with it. So I think like maybe like one spray and like, let's say from a distance, like right here around your décolleté area, but like on your clothes. And if you want to like amp it up, like you're like, oh, like, you know, like I want to feel a little extra today, then like 2 sprays on like each side of your chest. And of course, if you're going out, like you have a dress or something, you know, spray a little bit around your neck and on your clothes and stuff like that. And, you know, sometimes you can spray it in your hair, like if you kind of like spray it in the air and just like let it sit there and fall on you. Like you can, I mean, I feel like you waste some fragrance like that, but you know, if you do have like long hair and you just want that like waft of fragrance every time you turn or your hair brushes by someone, then you can do that. I mean, don't like spray it in your hair, but you know, like spray and like let it fall into your hair. And that top note again is reminiscent of Hidden Fantasy by Britney Spears. So if you like any of those fragrances, CK1 Shock for Men, Euphoria Intense for Men, Hidden Fantasy by Britney Spears, Sophia by Sofia Vergara, Heat Kissed, and Heat Wild Orchid, you will probably like Kim Kardashian's True Reflection because it kind of falls into that same family where they all have like a twist to them that I think makes them very unique fragrances in and on their own. That you can either make a very signature scent where you use it sparingly, or you like layer it up by like spraying like so much of it, depending on your mood, depending on where you're going. Like, you're going to an event, you're going to a dinner, you're going on a date, you're going to the movies, which again, that also depends on how close you are to someone and how much of an impression you want to make, and whether you want to, like, you know, just let people know you're here before you're even there, or let people know you're there and just kind of make it uncomfortable. Because I mean, I personally like to wear a lot of fragrance, and I do mix a lot of fragrances, and I feel like this one would layer so well with any of the scents that I mentioned. And as I'm smelling it right now, like, I can just smell so much of it, and it's kind of overwhelming because I haven't worn this scent in a while, but I do wear Sofia Vergara's fragrance a lot, which again is very similar, and it's kind of again like Rebel Fleur by Rihanna. Like, they're very heavy, beautiful scents that I feel you can't go wrong with, and they're very versatile. Like, these are the scents that you would invest your money in, but of course, if they are available at like your local Ross or TJ Maxx or Marshalls, I will say pick them up there for, I think they shouldn't be no more than $24. So it isn't bad, especially if you find the 3.4 ounce, the bigger bottles. That's usually the standard size for a big bottle. 3.4 ounces, 100 mils. Then I believe it's a very good deal. It's a very good deal. You can still find them. And you can still find the body lotion for it. I would say pick that up. It just leaves your skin also so soft. It's kind of like the Curious by Britney Spears body whipped body cream, where there's just something to it that it's so soft and radiant, and the scent that it carries with you is just beautiful. And again, getting to this fruity, watery, floral top notes, it's there. It lasts a little, but I do think what you're getting is that patchouli and gardenia and chocolate orchid being so amplified by the top notes, where you're kind of smelling everything at once, but the very distinct thing I feel is the gardenia and the patchouli. The chocolate orchid sweetens it, tries to hold it down and keep it set where it doesn't get too out there, where you're not smelling way too much patchouli, you're not smelling way too much of like the gardenia, because again, gardenia is it can kind of get a little overwhelming, like lavender almost. And patchouli also can get overwhelming, can be like very like, whoa, like that's a lot. Because I know that's sometimes how I am. I got something in my eye, and I don't know, there's just, I just can't stop raving about it, and it's gonna last you, I believe, 6 to 8 hours. I feel you can extend it to 10 if you like reapplied it, but again, this isn't a scent that I feel like you're gonna have to reapply it unless like you've had a day, or like you obviously like changed and you didn't spray it on your skin or a little bit in your hair. But even then, I think if you sprayed it like a little bit in your hair, so to speak, you will have just that airy lightness to it, where it's not going to be strong and it's not going to be weak, but it, like, again, just a breath of fresh air. Like every time you turn your head and you're like, your hair like kind of falls with you or something like that, or like it blows in the wind, like it's going to carry that scent, and it's going to carry it very airy, which is why I say, if you think about Hidden Fantasy by Britney Spears, if you smell that one's like very airy and springy and creamy, and like there's a sweetness to them, but that sweetness isn't overpowering. And you are getting that like sweet, I guess floral if you count the gardenia, but it's not a floral where you think, oh, like it's a floral perfume, like let's say a Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf. You're not getting like bam, like flower. Like this is something that it's slightly oriental if you think about it compared to your normal ways that gardenia is used, because gardenia is usually mixed with like tuberose, like a vanilla or like a musk. It's never really, I feel you don't really see it paired with like patchouli or like Italian bergamot and plum and peach and lotus flowers. So that's why I say, not only is this a very unique concoction, so to speak, but it is something that people are going to smell in you. It's going to be something that's kind of heavy but moderate. So it's moderate to heavy. So it's like they say, it's a medium to full coverage foundation fragrance, so to speak. And again, it's very versatile. Like 1 or 2 sprays for the day, like if you're at the office or you're like in a school, like college or anything like that, or like, oh, you know, you work at, I don't know, like a bookstore or Ulta or something. I don't know. Like this is one of those scents that you can just have with you and you're going to stand out. You're going to be very distinct. You're going to get a lot of compliments on it. I know I always get compliments on this one, especially when I use the body lotion with it. And especially at night, like if you go to like a fancy dinner and you have your makeup all done, as always, it's going to reflect, like your scent's going to reflect your makeup. And again, if you put jewelry with it, you know, like more darker gemstones and more colorful gemstones and maybe like a rose gold or a gold, I think that will carry on with it. Because if you do look at the component itself, it's almost like a navy blue. It looks black on camera, but if you're in person, like it's like navy blue. It has gold here. Well, it looks gold on camera, but it's like a rose gold and like a rose gold nozzle that you spray out of, and here it is. So it's just, and again, the way it's cut is like all the facets. So again, it goes into that whole true reflection kind of idea, and I guess look and feel that they're going for. So the way it's cut also kind of makes it look like a gemstone. So again, like I say, like dark gemstones, like if you think of Levian, like chocolate diamonds or something like that. Like I feel like this is one of those, like you can get all dressed up or like slightly dressed up the way I am, where, you know, I'm kind of wearing like a black shirt. I mean, I do have a light colored stone, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, I have like my amethysts, which are pretty dark, and like my black diamonds on silver, and like this gold and silver with green, and just even my eye makeup and stuff and my lip color. Like if I was wearing like, let's say like a black dress and I had like long black hair, like a wig or something, then like that would be very like exotic and beautiful, and just, you not only catch the eye with your makeup, but you intensify your presence. You're going to intensify your surroundings by saying like, this is me, like this is my fragrance, and like this is how it is. So again, recapping this fragrance, I'll say that the lasting power is 6 to 8 hours, extended to 10 with a little touch-up spray, especially if you're going to go out at night. I say makeup look, let's say something smoky and heavy. You can have a nude lip with it, or you can have a dark lip with it and like light eyes. The sillage, it's very strong for, you know, the first hour and a half at least. So be wary if you're going to be like next to someone at a movie or something, that you don't put too much. I mean, if you want to last, yeah, but then, you know, like don't just spray it all here. You know, like spray like 2 sprays and like 2 sprays like on the bottom of your shirt or something, you know, like your waist or something like that. So like flows with you, and like a little bit in your hair. And I don't know, again, if you like Hidden Fantasy, CK1 Shock, and Calvin Klein's Euphoria Intense, Sofia Vergara, Sophia, Heat Kissed, and Wild Orchid by Beyonce, you will love True Reflection by Kim Kardashian. So I really do hope you like this review, and I hope I explained it well enough for you. But anywho, I want to say hi to Rami Malek, stay safe, and God bless.
And they play in my jam. They play in my jam. They play